What's up, guys? All right, jumping into the markets today. Got to do a little victory lap today, boys, because I've been telling you what have I been saying every video. If you guys have watched, you know a bounce is coming. Everyone's in shorts, and what do we get today? We get a monster bounce. That's why you got to see these videos daily. I'm giving you a lowdown on what to expect, and boy, did we get a face ripper today. Holy moly, we got 2% out of SPY, about 2% out of the Nasdaq. All of this while Apple was down 1.5%. I mean, crazy. Huge relief bounce off of the bottom. Look at that volume, too, on SPX. My goodness, the volume is nuts. Pretty sure it's the same on SPY, too. Yeah, just crazy. Like, crazy daily volume. Crazy buying, crazy short covering. Nice little short squeeze. And that was a hell of a bounce. And I'm just going to get right into it. Get into what I did today. So, got to start off with the news that came out yesterday, or last night, I should say, like well after the market was already closed. Only happened during the futures market open, but Apple had some really bad news about the demand on their iPhones. They were ramping up production on iPhones, trying to meet demand, but then all of a sudden it looks like demand's not so strong, so they're gonna stop. They're gonna slow down that production. They're not gonna ramp it up like they said they were going to, and that is enough for Apple to completely dump, and it did. And the futures market reacted appropriately as well. The S&P futures dumped on that news. See if I can find exactly where that happened. Yeah, that happened right over here. Look at this. Big fat dump right there on the futures market. I mean, we dumped about 1.5% off of that news. So it was looking like a huge gap down. But then this morning, we don't gap down at all. We come over here right where we closed yesterday. I mean, it was crazy. It was one of those just nasty fake outs. And we don't gap down. We actually just open kind of even, and we get just this nice little back to SPX. We get this nice little consolidation. Where am I looking? So yeah, we open up here, nice little consolidation. We break out to the upside, past 36.70, and we kind of just shoot up. Nice little movement up to the upside. Super clean moving day today. Personally, I took one trade, which I was thrilled with today. I got a nice win after I hadn't been trading these past couple days. We took a SPY call, October 7th SPY call for 385. We got about a 40% win on that, so that was awesome. And I just took profits. I wasn't holding this overnight. You got to remember what the trend is. We're still in the downtrend. If you get any profits to the upside, you have to secure them. Even if tomorrow's crazy green face ripper, it's not worth taking the chance. And the chances are we're going to see another pullback tomorrow after we get an insane bounce, because we still have not reclaimed that critical level that I told you guys all to watch for. 37.42. We got close to it. We got to 37.37. Even though we still have some gap to fill, I'm not convinced we're just going to go straight up through it. I'm convinced we're probably going to pull back, maybe retest this past level that we couldn't break through at 37.20, which we actually are already doing that. We closed right there. So if we bounce off of this and go for that gap, I might be looking at another call. But I was not just going to let that profit go to zero overnight. If we get some other terrible news, you never know, especially when we're in such a bearish-looking market. I mean, regardless of this huge green day we had, you got to remember the trend. We're still in the big downtrend. I do not think this is just going to be a bottom that we're just going to bounce straight back up off of. If it is, then so be it. I will get into some longer calls if I see confirmation. If I see a break of 37.42 and then a pullback to test that level, or a pullback to some significant level and another bounce off of that, then I will be convinced that we're in a back in an uptrend, at least a smaller uptrend. But something worth noting is this trend line that we have right here. This big, see if I can make that brighter color. This big old blue trend line that we're sitting right on. So, gotta watch out for that. That is right there. Look at that. We tapped it. Look at this hourly candle. We almost tapped that trend line, and look at that confluence. That hourly, that 50-hour moving average. We wicked right up to it right over here. We tested it over here. We bounced off of it over here. I value that 50-hour moving average pretty heavily. And you can see back here, look at that. We ran up. We tested that 50 moving average on the hourly. Over here, we tested it, bounce, tested it, bounce, test, bounce. That hourly 50 moving average it always tends to find itself in these areas where SPY will pull back and bounce. And now we're rushing up right up to it with the trend line right on top of it. That's a crazy confluence and something super important to watch out for. If we fail to break through that, I imagine we could get yanked straight back down. And then that's the other thing with securing profits. When you make any profit to the upside in a super harsh downtrend, the reason you take profit so quickly is because it will flip around and dump on you without any warning whatsoever. It'll gap down. It'll drop 0.5% in 10 minutes. You got to take the profits off the table quickly, because you're never gonna look back and be like, oh man, I should have left that call run in a market where there is no good news whatsoever. And that's another thing. This is why when people see a green day, they're like, gee, something good must have happened. Literally nothing happened. There was, if anything, news got worse. We got news that the biggest company in the entire stock market and their biggest product, the demand for that product is going down. That's terrible news, but the market still goes up. So that's why you can never just be biased and only trade based off of the noise, because the market will do exactly the opposite of what you think it will do, even amidst all the bad news and all that. That's why price action is king. I guarantee people were trying to short this all day. All day they were trying to short. They saw it run it up. They were probably grabbing shorts right there, probably grabbing shorts there. Look at that rejection. And this was just perfect price action. So I'll tell you exactly where I entered my call. So we're running up here. We open up, consolidate, we run up, run up, run up. We get rejection here at 368. We pull back. Where do we pull back to? 366.50. If you look back at this level right here, you can see where price action has respected that line before. Right there, we got to pull back, bounce off of it. Over here, we got to run up, and we bounce off of it. So that 366.50 to 367 is a pretty important level. And then finally, we push up through this level. You see that? 368, where we passed rejected. We push through it. We pull back. Now that resistance right there, is now support right here. We bounce. We pull up. We run back to that. So I'm watching this level, and I'm watching, and I'm like, if we get strength at this level, if we have support at this level, again, I'm entering calls. And what do? Sure enough, we pull back to it. We bounce off of it. I grab my calls right there. We pull back. I'm not worried at all. I took very far out calls. These only went down like a few bucks. So I'm not worried at all. My stop loss is if we break below 368.15. We pull back, and then the rest is history. We get a crazy short squeeze. You can see where the gap is right here. We broke this level right here at 370.50. Or about 370.60. We broke that. We ran up, and just a huge green day. I ended up taking my profits actually before that big fat red candle. So we had a huge, look at all this selling volume right there at close. We had a huge sell-off at close. Not like crazy percent, but like a lot of selling volume. But overall, just a crazy, very high volume green day. And you look around at the bottoms, you always see these big high volume green days. Big high volume green day. Big high volume green day before we push back up. Same thing over here. So I'm not thinking this is the bottom by any means. I'm thinking we could get a green week. We could break out of this, maybe run up to about 378 to 380. But personally, I'm looking at shorts. If we go to fill this gap, I think this is a great short opportunity right here at 374.20, with a stop loss being up here at 376. I think that is a perfect setup, and then absolutely what you want to do in a downtrend. You want to short the bounces, but we'll see what happens. As for the Nasdaq, same kind of thing on the Nasdaq. Exactly the same kind of thing. Nasdaq also looked perfect today. You could see we ran up, we pulled back here at 277.50. You could see what happened there. We run up, we tap it, then we break it. Then we run up, find a resistance, we bounce off of that. Where do we find support? Right at that past resistance, guys. That's what you're always looking for. And then the rest is history. We just run up, straight up, easy clap. Just a super bullish kind of day. That double bottom playing out perfectly. I told you guys got to subscribe. You got to watch these videos daily. I'm out here telling you guys for free. I don't charge all these clowns on YouTube who are like, hey, get in my paid Discord. I'm here telling you this shit for free. What's going to happen? Boom, double bottom. Wham, wham. You get a W. W, and then see ya. Once you break out of that top, that's it. That's the neckline. That top right there, we broke out. Bye-bye. But these ugly hourly candles, this hammer candle, or shooting star candle, I should say, at the top, that's typically an hourly reversal candle, but I'm going to watch out. I'm going to see what happens after hours. Right now, after hours, we're pretty much sideways. But same thing as on the Nasdaq. You see this hourly 50 moving average? You see this? Look at that. We ran up and we tapped it and rejected it. Here, we consolidated it on it. When we broke above it, we saw some nice upside. But when we broke below it, we saw a lot of downside. And then, to confirm that downside, we tested that. And rejected, more downside. So now we're getting that same kind of look at that. We got a hammer candle or a shooting star candle off of it over here, and now we're getting another one off of it right there. Watch out, guys. I'm not saying we're going straight down. I'm just saying be a little wary of it. But same thing on the Nasdaq. It looks a lot like the S&P. They're basically like perfectly aligned right now. But let's look at Apple. Apple had an absolutely insane day. So Apple, we just opened. We get a huge, I mean, obviously terrible news, gap down, crazy selling volume. We gap down from 151 straight down to 148. Monster drop off the open. Bounce right here at 145. And now let's zoom out. I actually haven't looked at the levels on Apple at 145. Oh, that's not even like a level. It kind of is a level, actually. Sort of, kind of. More so just a demand zone right here. This has been a past demand zone. Right there. So if anything, that's probably what we're bouncing off of. Still have some buy orders right there. And as you can tell, looking at the daily candle, there were buy orders. Oh my goodness. Look at this volume, dude. All this green volume. Just crazy. Just shot it right out of a cannon. But still was red on the day. But you can see why the gap fill is a thing. Look at this. This is like insane. Apple can sometimes be like the most predictable stock. Look at this run up. So we gap down. Gap's right there. Come down. We run up to the gap. Look at these candles, man. Look at these. These perfect little 3 squares. We run up and denied, rejected. Where do we pull back to? Oh, look at that. We pull back to that fib level we have right there. Almost. And then we finally break through it, and the rest is history. Look at the buy orders coming in as soon as we break through that gap right there. Huge volume, no selling volume. Sayonara. Crazy day on Apple, and now Apple has reclaimed its past support at 148.70 or 148.80. So also looking a little bullish. But AMD, what did I tell you guys about AMD? AMD didn't have a crazy green day, but look at this. Look at this nice little rounded bottom that we have on AMD. I mean, just the most perfect little, let's see if I can, just the most perfect little rounded bottom there on AMD. I mean, really. Now we're seeing some upside, but this is, look at what AMD's been doing. Uh-oh, I'm done drawing. No more drawing. Check out what AMD's been doing here. Can't believe I give this info out for free. Where's AMD been rejecting? It's been rejecting off of that. How many times? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times? Now we're going for a 5th? Now we know the more times you test a level, the more often it is to break. So how many times can the bears hold up at this gap? The bears are doing everything they can from keeping this gap filled. And now it is just like crazy consolidation. We're getting so much consolidation right here. The more consolidation, the bigger move. Same thing. It has that hourly 50 simple moving average right there. And it honestly is in just a big fat falling wedge too, which is a bear or bullish reversal. So we break out. We fill that gap to the upside. I could see us easily breaking out at $70, and then we have a nice volume gap right here where you can see we just sliced right through that. So I see us, if we break 70 on AMD, I could see us running up here. We come here, we might pull back a little bit, and then I could see us sending straight up to that level right there before we see inevitable resistance, most likely off of that 75 level. But AMD is looking super clean. NVIDIA also, I was telling you guys, I was like, look at the chips. Look at NVIDIA. I mean, come on. Look at the perfect, how could they make such a perfect, I mean, how could they make such a perfect little rounded bottom on like that? It's craziness. It's just it's so perfect. I don't get it. And now Nvidia has already broken that level. So you can see where we were wicking up. We'd wick up to this level here at 127.50, reject, wick up, reject, wick up, reject, and now we finally got a break above that. That hourly candle finally closed above that. But then look at this falling or shooting star candle also off of its hourly 50 simple moving average. This is crazy. I mean, look at all these stocks that are right at that level. I mean, the entire market's right at that level. Look, it's the exact same thing as the Nasdaq. It's the exact same thing. Look at Google. Google broke it. Is Amazon right there? I'd be willing to bet. Oh, yep, Amazon's right at it. I'm sure Apple is way below it because of that gap down. But Microsoft, let me guess. Oh, yep, we just broke it. So gotta look around. You gotta look at the big names. I'm telling you. Was Tesla right at it? Oh, I'll be damned. Tesla's running up to it also. Which, look at the hourly 50 moving average on Tesla. Look at this thing. I mean, this thing makes trading so easy. Look at that. You break it. I'm gonna wait for confirmation. All right, we get a bounce off of it. We get a pull back to it. We get a big bounce off of it. See you later. Oh, I'm looking to short Tesla. Where should I go short on Tesla? Well, I'm going to look at this hourly 50 moving average. Oh, shoot. Look at that. Big sell-off into it. Bounce off of it. Look at this. We test it again. Bounce off of it. Uh-oh. All right. I'm looking to short now. It's having trouble. Look at this hourly wick. I mean, it wicks. Look at that. It wicks right down to it. To the cent almost. Look at the low on that. 303.35 to the cent. It was 10 cents off of that 50-hour moving average. And then when we finally break it, that is when you enter a short right there. So this would have just been so easy. If I could have shorted shares, I would have. I don't do puts on Tesla. I'm scared. But you grab a short right here. You get that candle close. So let's say you short down here at 300. Your stop loss is that 50 simple moving average. And then all this downside, just straight down. You get a 10% gain right there. That's just how easy it could be. And now we're running up to retest it in a perfect looking rising wedge, if I do say so myself, on Tesla right now. Anyways, guys, this is just, I'm trying to make my trading simpler. I'm looking for these confluences, and I look around the market and I see all these stocks. I mean, all these stocks are sitting right at their 50-hour simple moving average. It's just crazy. It's nuts. I'm just like, why did I not look at this indicator before? Not saying like I'm going to trade just off this indicator, but it just makes so much sense when you just look back at Tesla. And I mean, it's not always perfect, but it is just a nice little confirmation tool. It gives you confirmation in the direction it's heading. And you can just see there's pullbacks to it. It bounces off of it, pullback, bounce off of it. Over here it gets a little dicey. You cut through it. So it's not perfect, but it is definitely just a signal to confirm whether or not, if you think something's going down and it just broke that 50-hour moving average, it's just another good factor into the trade, I guess, another positive thing. So, anyways, that's about all I got. But I'll give you my levels on SPY. They're basically the same as I said yesterday. But I mean, 363 was the level we had to hold. And it was exactly the level we held. You can see where we opened at that. So that would have been an easy play. We opened at 630. Look at that. We wick right down to it. 362.70, 36, and then look at over here. 363. We pull down to it. Buyers are there. Look at the buyers. So that's my level right now. Is 363 to the all the way downside. But tomorrow I'm looking to see if we can hold this level. This pink line I have right here, 368.17. That is my downside indicator if we break that. To the upside, obviously gap to fill still above 372.33 all the way up to 374. And if we run up to that, I'm looking to enter a put. I'm going to wait for some confirmation, see if we get a hard rejection off of that, but I'm absolutely looking at puts at that level. I think that is a great bounce off of this bottom for some nice puts. Very low risk in my opinion, especially if you keep your stop tight at like 375. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for today. Today was the price action today was perfect. I wasn't very aggressive. I'm going for small wins now. And I got a nice, not even that small of a win. I mean, 40% gainer off of one contract. I'll take it, bada bing. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub. You put the notifications on. click the bell for notifications. I mean, I'm giving this info for free. I told you guys. All these other stock YouTubers, they're on here being like, look to the downside, June lows, new lows, new lows, get puts, get puts. And it's like, come on, people. You're looking at this chart and you're telling me we're just going to go straight down. I mean, you're going to look at this daily. All these red days. We get 6 red days in a row. And you think the market's going to give us a 7th? I mean, come on. None of these dudes were talking about a bounce. They're all just looking to the downside. That's why I'm here, man. I'm telling you guys, you got to look both directions. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.